You're tuned into the Indie Popcast, broadcasting from Echo Park, Los Angeles.
Yeah, we're not recording a rap song here, you guys. This is radio. Or podcasting.
I don't know standard protocol.
Is this going to be on iHeart?
No.
Okay,
I don't
good.
think so.
How close are you going to get to your mic?
Just like right here, maybe get closer
sounds...
for like impact and then come back.
Impact.
You know, it's all about dancing with the microphone.
Such a veteran.
Can we talk about how I got fired from Radio Disney?
Yeah, we can talk about
I would
all
love
that.
to talk about that.
There's the funny story.
You play like a non-edited version of a song or something?
No. I lied. Is this recording? I lied on my time card.
About how, like, you just put more hours? Really?
Yeah, it's such a long story, though. Basically, I'm not eligible for rehire at the Walt Disney Company. Ever.
You're blacklisted?
Yeah.
Walt Disney blacklisted you?
Can you go to Disneyland?
Yeah.
That'd be
Do
so
they have
funny
your
if you
picture,
could've
like,
go to Disneyland.
in Disney jail?
No, but the Mad Hatter Tea Party, those Long Islands are strong. Be careful at Disneyland. Yeah. It'll become an HR issue if you work there.
You can't technically drink at Disneyland, yeah. It has to
can
be
now.
at that little, I don't know, Star Wars.
It's just like one of the lands.
I haven't
really
been there
don't
yet.
know Star Wars at all. I'm a huge nerd, but Star Wars is not my world.
You sound really good on the mic, Seena.
Thank you.
I'm intimidated going up against two radio people right now.
I know.
I have no radio experience
Yeah.
at all.
Wait, Gonzo, what was your on-air name?
It's just Gonzo.
Oh, I was just Seena too.
Yeah, it's easy.
Alex.
I remember when I was like trying to come up in the LA radio scene, and this like girl from San Francisco just got a job at like 97.1 amp radio, and I'm like, who is this bitch? And then I look, and it was Seena, and now we're friends. But it took a while for us to actually meet.
Yeah.
But I remember I was like super jealous.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more
Not
about
because
being
I was
jealous.
better than you, because you're 100% better than me, but like
Thank you.
I was just like, oh, I thought you never like, you know, I thought us young people couldn't start in LA, even though you already had experience on the air, and I didn't. And then I watched one of your first like video interviews that I watched. It was you interviewing Jason Derulo, and he was shirtless.
Oh no, that was Lloyd.
Lloyd. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was shirtless. It was really funny.
Which is weird. The whole interview, I didn't acknowledge the fact that he had no shirt on.
Okay, I was actually really mad at you about that, because I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, this dude's clearly ripped, and he's shirtless. You're just like,
I just did an
never
interview like
mentioned
that.
it.
Yeah.
Wow, good on you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, way to
He
keep
was
it
looking
professional.
for it, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to always keep it professional. Right, Katie? Katie's looking at me like, questionable. All right, guys, it's episode 6 of the Indie Popcast. I'm Seena. I'm going to be hosting this. And today we have Alex, better known at our office as AF.
Hey, guys.
Oh, I didn't
You're
know that.
so nervous right now. Yeah,
I'm not
AF is
nervous.
a thing.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say something after you introduce me or not. I didn't have
you
anything
can.
ready.
You can
You just
speak
say like,
whenever you
hey,
wish.
and then you go,
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
What?
AF, what does that stand for? As
my-
fuck?
Yeah, it's fuck.
Oh, Alex Feig.
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 Feig. Alex Feig.
Feig.
And Gonzo.
Hi.
Hi,
What's
who
up?
is a microphone professional. It's on.
This is my first time speaking into a microphone since I got fired from Radio Disney.
You know what? Until I started doing this podcast,
Right away.
it was weird. It was like I know this world, but I don't anymore.
Yeah. And then normally, obviously, we both come from radio, but like you have music playing, so it's like, oh, okay, like if I sound like you can't hear my lisp because the music is playing, and now it's just like it's just us.
After you got fired from Radio Disney, you just didn't go back into radio?
No, I thought so. I mean, a little backstory, if anyone cares. I thought I wanted to be the next
all
Ryan
care.
Seacrest. Thank you. Sort of pursued that from like Oxnard. Started at a radio station there. Came out to Kiss FM 98.7. My first on-air job was in Palm Springs.
That's a lot of people from LA, I feel like, go to Palm Springs.
Yeah,
Or like
it's kind of
San
like
Diego.
the natural next step. Went to Radio Disney. I was actually on there at Radio Disney, believe it or not. And then really what got me into management was being at Radio Disney, or just radio in general, and seeing these like artists and managers come by, and then it's like, cool, it's a great day, like we're so tight, we know all these artists, and then they leave and they come back a year later, they've been around the world, and we're still in that same studio.
It's quite the epiphany that you had.
Yeah, really it all started because I met
You got fired?
Well, no, I was already in management while I was working there. I wanted to work for Kevin Jonas Sr., the Jonas Brothers' dad, Because he's the manager. We had mutual
Every kid's
friends.
dream job.
Yeah, right.
Kevin Jonas Sr. name drop.
And that didn't work out, but that's what kind of like kickstarted me like being like, oh, maybe I could do this.
Well, I guess I should explain that the topic for this podcast is, Katie put it best, breaking into the LA management scene. Did I nail that? Yeah. Oh, basically.
pretty good.
Close enough. So you both, I mean, Alex, I work with you here at Indie Pop. Gonzo, you are our guest, outside guest. I love
Thank
having
you.
an outside guest here.
Welcome.
But
Thanks for having me.
welcome. Do you feel welcome?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've been here quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I really feel at home here.
well, and also, like, you guys
We've
are
known each other.
friends.
Yeah.
We are friends.
So aside from the fact that you guys are friends and Alex works with me, you guys both also manage bands outside of here.
Yeah.
And so I just want to have a conversation for new managers. I mean, specifically in LA, because it's just, I feel like a lot of people that want to work in music end up here anyway, like I did. Are you guys both from LA?
We kind of both grew up in the same area code, actually.
Yeah.
805.
805.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
Moore
didn't know
Park,
that.
Ventura County.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out.
Shout out 805.
Yeah, 805.
Yeah.
Oxnard.
You guys probably know a lot of people from out of town that came here, whether it's your bands or other managers or just people that want to get into music. I mean, this actually is even better to guess that I booked for this than I even thought, because you guys are from here. So you guys have experience. You guys kind of laid down your roots here. So I want to talk about that. Gonzo, you kind of touched base on why you even wanted to get in management. I kind of want to hear your story, Alex. And on the other side too, on the flip side, if you are a baby artist that's, you know, newly developing, trying to get their sound together, at what point do you need a manager? I feel like all our artists that are kind of getting their footing just think that they need a manager like right out the gate. I don't think that that's the case. But yeah, I feel like you guys would know better than me. So that's what this convo is for.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to kick it off, or
Well,
I
Go
can?
ahead.
I mean,
How about Alex? Let me hear a little bit about you, like how you even got here in this chair right now, like before we go on, because Gonzo kind of told
Yeah.
us his story.
more or less the same way through a different path. Like I was producing music videos for one of my good friends since my junior year of high school. He started a production company, Green Glow Films, which he still owns and directs for. And I was producing a lot of videos for him, kind of just learning on the fly, working with a lot of artists and their teams. And kind of the same way Gonzo had the epiphany of like, you know, we're continually shooting these videos and like artists will come in and out and you get to interact with the managers and the teams and then kind of just send them on their way. I never really fell in love with production, but always had the interest in music as a business, I would say.
Did you go to school?
I did go to school, not for music. I went to the University of Colorado. I did 2 years of business, dropped out after I had to take finance, and graduated with a degree in sociology. But
What
yeah,
made you want to go to Colorado for school?
I committed to go to San Diego State, and I was a day away from being locked into that, and kind of realized that if I went to San Diego State, I was going to be with a bunch of people that I went to high school with, be a 2-hour drive from home, you know, have that like safety net per se of like if I felt homesick, I could just return home, whatever it may be, and kind of just wanted to get out of town and be in a place where I didn't know anyone, spread my wings a bit, and just I didn't want to look back on that opportunity that I had to experience something new in a different state, in a different climate, culture, whatever it may be, and have chosen the safe route. So kind of just pushed myself a little bit to experience that. And I am very, very glad that I did, and obviously grateful that I had the opportunity to do that.
You don't give me a West Coast vibe at all, which is so
No?
crazy. I don't know why. Maybe because you play hockey.
What kind
I
of
don't
vibe?
know.
What kind of vibe do I give you?
Not from here.
Thank
Colorado
you.
for sure, but he went to college there.
Yeah, I give you a
guess.
Colorado vibe.
No,
No,
maybe to
I
her.
don't know.
I didn't say
What
that.
is a Colorado vibe?
I'd be wearing like hiking boots and running shoes right now, and
You'd be
And
wearing
not
Converse
Crocs.
and have a mustache.
And not Crocs. I'm surprised you should
I'm not wearing Crocs.
I know you should have worn them for the podcast.
I can't
Oh.
not.
Comfy
That's too
vibes.
comfy vibes. I don't know.
That's only in Croctober.
Croctober.
Yeah,
Did you
Croctober.
steal that from me?
Did I?
October.
I stole it
I
from
tweeted
somebody
it.
else.
You stole it from someone else?
Yeah.
I thought I made that up.
Sponsored
That's a-
by Crocs.
That's
Yeah.
a bummer. You ruined my morning on
Every
the
guest
podcast.
gets a new pair of Crocs today.
Look under your chair.
You guys are making a joke, but I'd legitimately be stoked
No, I
for
know.
that.
Yeah,
No.
Alex actually wears Crocs.
I
You
wore
might
them
be
yesterday.
the only human I know that wears Crocs.
I got like 3 off the top of my head that
wow.
wear Crocs.
I wear Birkenstocks, which is
I
like
do too,
on,
but that's
like,
not Crocs.
no, but
It's
you
the
know,
same purpose though.
No.
if you wear them with socks,
Get
you're
out of
at
here.
Croc level.
I do wear them.
You're supposed to wear Crocs with socks, right?
Probably, yeah. Because
Crocs and socks.
if not, your feet get all kind of moist.
Crocky.
Why did you have to lean into the mic?
Because
when you
everybody
said
hates that
moist?
word.
It doesn't really
It doesn't bother me.
It only bothers me when you guys say it like that. Okay,
Gonzo sipping his coffee in the mic was more
Clammy
bothersome
feet.
than moist. Here he goes.
No, I'm not gonna do
Wow. Okay, well, away from that.
it.
Sure?
Wait, so how did you guys meet and became friends?
This is a good story, actually. So
Thank you. I'm glad that I asked the question.
I don't know if you probably remember, but I remember.
I remember.
So I was like trying to put together the showcase, and I like hit up a few friends, and our mutual friend Nick Braw was like, "Oh, here, check this out." He just sends me an MP3 with nothing.
This was when you guys were already in management?
This was
this was like a year
6
ago.
months ago.
Oh, okay,
More?
6 months ago.
Maybe a year. It was a year ago.
You guys have only been friends for 6 months?
No, it was longer
like
than
a
that.
year.
It's been a year.
And so I get this MP3, and like, I was like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?" And like, it wasn't even out. This artist had no new music out, nothing. And I was like, "Yeah, this is cool. Like, let's see if we can do it." That's an artist that he manages,
Called...
Michi. And like, basically, just never like that showcase never worked out. But one day I was like, "Yo, Nick, can I meet Alex, her manager?" And I think it was to like set up a session with her and somebody, and then we just all kind of became friends. Michi's also the only person on this planet besides my mom that I trust taking care of my dog, and she's done it once.
Recently.
Yeah,
Was there
very recent.
any snafus?
No.
No?
No, it was great.
Wow.
My dog was very happy with Michi and her services. Yeah, it was really nice of her. It's just hard to find, for dog people or cat people, whoever. Just I guess if you have kids, anyone to watch
Kid
them.
people.
Yeah, kid people, parents. And then we've just stayed in touch and like, just like bounce ideas. It's like basically in this world is like super small, and you need sort of like friends that also do it, and like that. Like I can just ask or say something without necessarily anyone, like him at least, wondering like, ooh, what does he want, or what what's the end goal here? It's like honestly nothing. I'm just curious.
And if there was nothing else that brought you two together, you both have very formidable mustaches. I didn't even think about this until...
I mean, he's got me.
He would have one if he trimmed up the
Yeah, I
the
know, but it's
side.
very
Yeah.
bold. Like both your facial hair is like... I feel like I want to call this episode like the mustache episode. But then people are going to assume that I have a mustache,
Yeah,
which I don't.
You don't. For
Thank
the
you.
record.
Don't.
Thanks for clarifying for people that can't see.
Which is everyone.
Yeah, other than you guys.
Managers, right? Like,
Managers, am I right?
like I think it's a 50-50. Either you get a good one or you get a shitty one. Like, and there's a lot of really bad ones, and I'm not even saying I'm a good one. I think there's like, I don't know, just going back to your question about it being too early for artists, and it's like, if anyone in this industry tells you it's too soon, it's because they don't have an interest in working with you.
Oh, really? You think,
I think. Or like you go to a label, it's like, oh, it's too early. It's like, no, it's not, because if you thought this would be a hit in a year, you would sign me right now. Or, so we just recently started working with an artist like a year ago. Her name's Loyal Lobos, and she like reached out to us just to like mutual people. She was like, hey, just want, I thought I'd whatever, meet you guys. And like after we met, I realized that I had met her 5 years ago, like playing at a coffee shop, like not who she is today. And I know that if I would have gotten in that time and been like, even then at 5 years ago, I knew nothing, and I still don't. But like, I would have hindered her from getting to where she is now.
What do you mean by hindered, in a good or bad way?
I think in a bad way, because she needed this time to like really find herself as an artist, to struggle, to feel like she's got nobody, to like do the like shitty open mics or cool open mics, or we don't do a lot of busking here, but that kind of vibe, like do like the hard stuff. And I think
for people that don't know what busking is, can you explain?
Oh, it's just like,
it's like street performing.
yes, performing on the street,
I didn't even know what that was.
particularly in a
that's
subway
good.
in London. But it's just like you have to go through the hard stuff, and a lot of times like young artists will meet either an experienced manager or a young manager, and they kind of lean everything on them. Like I remember
like having expectations that they don't have to be self-sufficient.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
To echo that is, I think from the artist side, it can be too early, not from the other way around. But if it's an artist, it can definitely be like a crutch. You know, you get it with a manager too soon and you expect them to, you know, you have these expectations that they're going to take you, you know, to the moon and back. When in reality, I think the more that you can cut your teeth and learn about the business on your own as an artist, the more that's going to benefit you down the road, and the more it's going to help you find a manager that has the right tools and the right fit for your project. Because I think a lot of it has to be like how you work with the artist and how, you know, your strengths play off each other more so than just like someone who's going to be just the business side and that's it.
So then what is the point that an artist should be finding management?
I think it varies for everyone. I don't think there is a time where you're going to wake up in the morning and think that you need a manager. I think the right fit will come along when it comes along. I think, you know, either a manager will reach out to you or someone will come to a show and open up that discussion. But I don't think there's a time where you need to just all of a sudden decide that now is the time I need a manager, or now is the time I even need to sign a client if you're looking at it the other way.
So if I'm a new artist and I'm looking for a manager, what are the signs of a good manager? Like just basic.
Gonzo?
We're gonna go off of like really basic stuff. We can dive deep into it, but like, are there very clear things like red flags?
The number one to me is trust. Like no matter what, I think that has to be the top quality that you have to look for. And in my opinion, you know, I think
That's
that
with any relationship.
with any relationship,
exactly.
very true. And it is at the end of the day a relationship. I've talked about this with my artists all the time. Like you are straight up in a relationship with them. You have to plan 6, 12, 18 months in the future. You have to talk finances. You have to talk, you know,
personal life too.
Personal
they
life
have to
every
know
day.
everything really that's going on.
It is a marriage in a lot of ways. And I think
is.
that's why trust has to be number one, because you have someone that's looking out for your art, which is more than likely the closest thing to them. And, you know, to have someone out there who is, you know, representing that, you have to know that they are doing it in a way that is, you know, in your best interest over anything else.
I mean, I remember a manager that I worked for when our artist was going through a breakup, like the entire day they were on FaceTime with them, like consoling them. And when he would get off the phone with them, he'd be like, this is the worst day ever. Like they're not doing well. And then it was just like constantly had to be on the phone. Like, are you okay? Like, do you need something? Like just listening to venting. And that's also part of it too.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't, like Alex said, like if you don't trust that person, like you're not going to have that relationship.
Yeah. And this person's also going to be like representing you in a professional capacity that like they could make like irrevocable damage too. So it's like, or they could not, you know, they could be like go really well, but just like back to trust. It's like you got to definitely trust that this person can like represent you in the best light and take you in a collaborative way to like whatever that next level is. I mean, some of the more successful artists I work with, it like they're going to be successful with or without a manager, and they know that. So it's like knowing that too as an artist is really important, because like you don't need any of us to succeed. Like if your music's good, if you're cool, if you look good or whatever, like if it's all there, like you're going to do well, and you don't need a manager to succeed. So just like do your thing without caring about, getting a manager, and then it hopefully will all fall into place.
So then as a manager, you're out there looking for clients to sign, right? Mm-hmm. If you find a band like that you, or an artist, singer, whatever, that you already see that they could succeed on their own, maybe you can take them to the next level. How do you sell yourself?
Okay.
Both looked at each other for that one.
It's really like, and I'll tell an artist this, it's kind of like dating, you know, you meet on Tinder, you both swiped whatever direction it is.
Is that where you meet all your dates on Tinder?
That's where I meet all my bands. And then you meet, you know, you talk, you meet for the first time, and you just like take it really slow until it's like, oh shit, okay, let's do this.
Sounds very romantic when you
it
put
really
it like
is.
that.
And
it is romantic.
You have to kind of like woo them, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You have to woo them, but it's also, I think, especially in today's day and age, like people are very weary of being wooed.
right.
You know, I think there's
Woo, are you saying they're woo weary?
they're woo weary. I think there's just so much more to it these days, especially in a manager client relationship. Like if you go in with all these fancy bells and whistles,
Who was that? Was that Super Duper Kyle? Who was
they're
it?
gone now.
Oh, Carlo. I haven't met him, but I heard him on episode 1.
Oh, Carlo from episode 1.
Yeah.
Are you Carlo from episode
Oh my
1?
god.
Oh my
I'm
god.
Gonzo from episode 6.
We could have had a feature. Gonzo from episode 6. I want to change your name on my phone.
You should.
Oh my God, your profile, new profile, bio.
I have a question. Is
Yeah.
Indie Pop the label or the management company?
Indie Pop is the management side,
Oh,
and
independently.
independently
Yeah,
popular
okay.
is the label side.
Got it.
Where were we? Talking about being wooed.
Yeah. And
Thank you for picking it up.
it's true, like sometimes like, and especially in this like age of social media, like you look at it, you obviously are going to stalk each other like right off the bat, like, oh, who's this guy trying to manage me? And it's like, or girl trying to manage me, whoever. But like, you have to try to not sell yourself on that because, it's all kind of BS.
Not sell yourself on social media?
Yeah, or just like trying to be like, as an artist, be careful, by like anyone who can like promise you, who like is trying to promise you the world. Like I honestly go into like a new meeting with an artist and I'm like, I'm literally not going to promise you anything. Like, sorry, I take that back. I'm not going to guarantee you that I can get you anything. I can't, I'm not going to like 100% get you a record deal or this. It's like, but we can work towards that and we can do everything possible to get there. That usually like, to me is very normal, but I think that's usually like an impactful thing for these new artists. And then like as an artist looking for a manager, like get into the stock like real, like go see who's following who. Like if this manager trying to talk to you is, and then if there are people that you respect that follow them on Instagram or whatever, and it's like, and I think that's another really important thing too. It's like seeing how this manager interacts and seeing how they're like respected or not respected by other industry people who are also going to help take your career to the next level.
So vetting them out.
Yeah.
Well, how about social media? Do you guys think that as a manager you have to have your social media pop in?
I personally don't think so.
Isn't
Yeah.
yours
And
like
maybe
quite
that's just
slow
because-
or private?
Well, hey, define quite slow, first of all.
Xandergram.
Yeah,
You
what's
don't
that supposed to mean?
post.
He knows
You
my
never
handle.
Post.
Well, it's because I like to go quality over quantity.
Quantity.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think if you're
You're not-
in my opinion at least, and again, like this is just my opinion, if you're hiring or not hiring someone based on how often they're posting photos on Instagram, like that is your first misstep.
Yeah.
Because from the manager side, at least, like you don't have to have a manager that's popping on social media.
Some managers, they,
I mean, sure, of course.
they thrive off of that, or they put it like as a priority for themselves.
Of course. Maybe just me personally, I've never had to leverage my social media into something. Of course, like I've been able to share my artist's work on there or whatever it may be. But, for me at least, and again, like maybe I'm behind the 8 ball on this.
It's a
I
recurring
don't see my
Getting
social
behind
media
that
as a
8
great way to leverage my artists. I think on the flip side, it's a great way for artists to leverage themselves if done the right way. But I don't think you need to rely on a manager that is necessarily popping on social media. I think their interpersonal connections and their real, genuine friendships and relationships are going to matter a lot more. I don't care if, the CEO of Warner follows you on Instagram. Is that going to automatically mean your artist is going to get a deal? Like, no. But if you forge these relationships and build, real connections with people in real life, face to face, those are the kind of, followers, so to speak, that are going to help out an artist more so than just a number on Instagram or on Twitter or on LinkedIn or whatever.
And I mean,
it may be.
that's like real life too for me. Like I would rather know somebody and be friends with them, or have them be a colleague or back me up in real life rather than.
And some
follow
of
me
those
on Insta.
relationships probably do start on Instagram, and I don't mean to, talk down on that, or if that's a strategy that people use. I'm sure it works out for a lot of people, but just from my personal seat here, that's not something that I've one seen a ton of success in, and two, like really try to pursue. Maybe I should.
I don't think it's a make or break either, but something I try to do, and it sort of happens naturally, and also because like, maybe sometimes I'm bored, but like if there are like super fans of acts that I work with, I do try to interact with them, mainly to like show them appreciation, because sometimes like their support is super like really helps our acts. But also you kind of can start building a little bit of like a foundation, and when you start working with a new act, it's like, yo, check this out, and then all of a sudden you have like, some tent poles of like super fans who might be into it, or I'll even hit them up and be like, yo, what do you think of this? And if they like it, it's like, okay. If they don't, then I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board or whatever. I mean, we all work with artists that are like very particular about what they post or don't post on social media, and I've sort of taken that approach, even though it looks like I'm just like, it's a bunch of bullshit and nonsense, but like I will, like if someone's like, hey, can you post this? Like probably wouldn't. Not that I'm like gonna, make anyone's career by them getting an Instagram post, but And I also don't post everything that I work with. I feel like the quality has to be good and get to a certain point so that people take you seriously. But obviously show love to everything that we do and stuff.
I have a kind of
course.
like a side question, just because this is personally a pet peeve, is when artists don't give kudos to their management. I feel like managers do so much for artists. Like we just talked about, not even professionally, but personally, just making sure that person is okay and like sane enough to like do their job. And a lot of artists think that it's cool to not acknowledge that person is like holding them up. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, if someone goes out of their way to not do it, that is kind of lame in my opinion. But on the flip side of the coin, like I don't need any sort of public acclaim to do what that's not why we do what we do. I don't know. I'm speaking for Gonzo, but that means nothing to me. If someone said like, "Oh, I'm purposely like not going to give you any love," like, yeah, that's can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's shitty. Like if someone said that to me, I'd be like, okay, well, like you kind of just suck as a person, like that's a bad quality to have. But I'm not also gonna be like, oh man, like they didn't, shout me out on this Twitter post or like on stage for putting this show together, or whatever it may be. Like,
what if your artist is accepting a Grammy? Would you expect them to shout you out?
I would hope. Like that's sort of like this is a very thankless job and we're okay with never getting a thank you, but if there's one where we are gonna demand it, it better be at the Grammys. Like, and that's even like just pride. Like, it's not gonna. I don't know.
Yeah, at that point,
that's like the culmination almost. I also don't expect like any kind of like Instagram shout outs or anything. And there are some managers out there that as soon as you start working with them, it's like, okay, you got to add me to your bio, you got to add me to the email section and whatever.
That's a little aggressive.
Yeah, and
an email section, understandable, because like you want somebody to be able to contact if there's like a gig or a potential
on the
deal.
flip side though, I've also like strategically in some cases opted out like away from that because I want, especially with new artists, like as soon as like an artist it's like, oh, I have a manager, then like people are gonna be like, okay, you're already discovered, you're good, like whatever. But if you're still new and you're trying to get that early support, I'm just like, keep your like Gmail up there, like make it look as indie as possible, like don't mention me anywhere, so that people could get involved and be like, oh yeah, I discovered this band. I'm like, okay, whatever, like you want to be the one that discovered them, great, I don't care, as long as it goes to where we want it to go.
It's a source of pride for a lot of like super fan type of people, like being in on the ground floor. You see people commenting like, oh
my God,
here
I
before this blows up on YouTube, or like here when this has 3,500 views. It is a sense of pride for a lot of people, and especially in like the indie music space, like be first on artists and showing that you maybe have like a manager that's at like a group that manages huge people. They kind of feel like, oh, like this is already set. Yeah, they're already set. Like we don't need to support them with our fandom.
I'm really glad that both of you are kind of speaking on this, because you guys both are, grew up in this area, started your careers in this area, and LA is what I mean by this area. Once you both decided to be in management as managers, what was that journey like? Because this is one of the entertainment capitals of the world, right? Like there's so many things like film, music, television is here. So specifically in music, you guys want to be managers. How do you even start? Like, do you just go out to shows and pick up on, new acts that aren't signed? Or do you just hit social media? Like, how do you find that first act that you want to work with? Or did it just really come natural?
When like, especially being in LA, everyone's like, oh, I want to be a TV writer, or I want to write movies, but they haven't gotten the job yet, so they haven't started writing even just at home on a notepad. It's kind of that same scenario. Like, if you want to do it, just do it and just try until you like, do well or don't. But like for me, I was like at a random bowling alley in Ventura, California. And I saw this band and I was like, yo, you guys are really cool. Like I was working at Radio Disney, so I had a little bit of like industry, but like honestly, if you're like a cool band and some Radio Disney guy comes up to you, you're going to be like, get away from me.
Really? That was the reaction? Because it was Radio Disney specifically?
I mean, it's, it's not like Honey, it wouldn't be like, oh, sick, this guy works at Radio Disney.
You're the bad boy of Radio Disney though.
Yeah, I was super bad boy. And so the approach for me was like, look, I have no idea what I'm doing, but here's where I want to get to. And like, here's where I think we can grow together and get to a certain place. And that was try one. It didn't work out. Try two. It also didn't work out. And then once you start like trying this on your own, there are other managers out there that you can work for. So I met this guy named Gil Gastelum, runs a company called Cosmica, which is where I'm at now. It really comes down to like one being like, okay, let's try this guy out. Like I knew nothing. And then having those people, him in particular for me, just like believe in you and give you the platform and resources to try it. And you kind of start from the bottom and you do nothing or you intern and then you can like day to day. And then at some point you're like, oh, I can do this on my own, or like still under the same like house kind of thing, but like I'm gonna try. And that was really the big thing for me. Like you just have to start. You can't wait for someone to give you a job because no one's gonna give it to you if you don't have any experience, and you're not gonna get any experience if you don't have a job. But with management, it's like anyone could be a manager. We're like, yo, what's up, Seena? Can I manage you? And you're like, sure.
Yes,
and it's
yes,
like,
you
I'm a
can.
manager now.
Throw it up on
And
socks. Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of like the nutshell start for me.
Was the bowling alley band Honey?
No.
Oh,
no,
you were
no.
just using them as a
Yeah.
reference point?
What were they called? It was a band called Simple Times. Shout out. Sandy would always make fun of me. We know Sandy, our mutual friend, because there's also like a beer at Trader Joe's called that.
Simple
It's like
Time.
the
Yeah.
Trader Joe's beer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Simple
Is it
Times.
delicious? Am
It's
I
not,
missing
I don't
out?
think it's that good. Do you like it?
I guess it's not good. I don't drink beer, but
Like, threw me to the wolves there.
It's disgusting, but I hate beer.
and I used to stress out so much because I'm like, oh my God, this band is not going to want to work with me. And like, I'm never going to find another good band ever. There's a difference between an artist like wanting to like work with you and needing to work with you. And, you know, one of the last bands that I was like pitching, I like ended with like, if I don't work with you guys, I'm going to die. And like, obviously it's not true. Like I'm going to live a very healthy life, but like, that's the feelings I have. Like I need to work with this band. And like, I might be like at capacity, like I can't take anything else on, but you meet this band and you're like, I have to work with you.
What about you, Alex? What was
my bowling alley?
what was your bowling alley?
Your
fun.
Simple Times.
What
Was
my
it
Simple
also a
Times?
bowling alley?
No, it's interesting though because it's very much the same way. Like I went to go to this backyard house party in Venice on the 4th of July in I think 2014 or 13, and there was a band playing there, and I knew the singer and the bass player from high school, and I don't really know like what clicked at the time, but I was just like this, like I want to work with these guys, and the band is Private Island, who I still work with to this day. They were the first band I ever began managing, and I honestly just approached them and I told them like, hey, like I want to get into management. You guys are playing backyard shows in Venice. Like obviously you are also starting at the ground floor here. Like let's kick down the doors together. Let's try to learn the game together. If in 6 months it's not working out, like no hard feelings, we'll go our separate ways. And obviously now we're on year 7 together or 6 together. So yeah, it was more or less the same thing. Like I just saw a band. I didn't go anywhere expecting to sign someone or to start managing someone. It kind of just happened. And obviously I'm lucky enough to work with, you know, talented dudes who are still believing in me and vice versa.
Didn't they play a show in LA pretty recently? I think
They played at the El Rey, but that was back in March of
Last year.
2019.
When you want your artist to play shows in LA, how do you approach that?
You have to have some kind of a game plan for where you want that one show to take you. I think you need to have kind of a scope of some kind of build. Like, okay, like if we start doing this show, like what's our next step or what's our step after that, and kind of have some foresight before, you know, just diving right in. It also depends how new you are. If you have some kind of a fan base, you know, maybe having that foresight's a little easier. If it's a band that is just starting out, like with Private Island, you know, we played 30 just free soft ticket bar shows at Harvard and Stone all over the place, just getting their feet wet before really diving into like that plan. But I think, yeah, just kind of knowing, you know, where you sit experience wise, releasing music wise, and then just start, you know, reaching out. If it's bars, reaching out to, you know, contacts on websites or whatever it may be, and just start from there and kind of just build off of that. But I don't think there's a real like formula unless Gonzo has one.
No, I wish I did because
Yeah,
it'd
me
make things
too.
a lot easier. But also just like as an artist, reach out to other artists on Instagram. Like we work with a band called the Marias, and half of the openers that have opened for them on tour are people that the band was like, hey, what about this one? I'm like, sure, how'd you hear about them? Instagram. Or like, I'd be like, sure, let me go like see who their booking agent is. It's like, no, I already DM'd them. They're down to do it. And I was like, oh, okay. But a lot has happened on that. There's like, I don't know if there's people who are still trying to say like you can't do business on Instagram, but like a lot of shit happens on there. And nowadays more than ever, like a lot of like development is happening between artists and artists. Like there's like bands taking other artists, under their wing, like the Marias and Honey and all. They're like all in this like circle, and like they all will like put each other on each other's tours, and like Bad Sons put Marias on their first show, and that's just kind of how you build.
If you're an artist looking for management, do you think networking is a really big deal for them in the year 2020? Offline,
Yeah.
like in person, and where should they go specifically in this city to do so?
I would say just go to shows of artists that you look up to, that you aspire to one day be on the stage that they're on, and just put yourselves in those circles. Don't force anything. But I mean, Gonzo put it a great way as far as just like the way you build a lot of the time is through artist to artist. If you want to play a show, it's not emailing that person's manager or agent. It's building a relationship with that artist. So, going to their shows and repeatedly being there and rubbing shoulders with, like-minded fans and people who work with them on a professional level is a great way to just like start opening up those doors and building relationships with fans and people that work with artists that you like.
So if I'm an artist and I go see a show at like Moroccan Lounge or Bootleg Theater, like should I wait until the end of the show and like try to introduce myself? Is that kind of what you're saying?
I think at any time, just don't be weird.
Just don't be weird.
What does that mean?
Like you don't need to go in
Are you
necessarily.
specifically telling me or the?
You can do both. I mean, you can go up to like the merch table and like say hi and whatever, but it's almost just being there. Don't go in with any game plan or expectation. Just be there and hang out and enjoy the show, and be with the fans that are enjoying the same kind of music. And if you have an opportunity to introduce yourself, of course, take it in a non-weird way. But it's more so just putting yourselves in those environments that's important, I think.
And don't linger. As soon as you say hi, what's up, nice to meet you, great show, bounce. Then the people are gonna be like, oh, that person was nice. Supposed to if you like hang out for 30 minutes, and then they're just gonna think like, dang, why did they hang out for so long? Because like there's this like anxiety, and I feel it too, because I'm a big lingerer, and it's like, well, I have to like talk to them as much as I can, but it's like, no, short and sweet. What's up? Great show. Hey, can I email you sometime? Yeah, sure. Okay, bye.
I think short and sweet is super underrated, especially when it comes to early communication. Like if you're sending an email or Instagram, like a DM, or like you said in person, keep it short and sweet is really good, because then you make a really good impression, a quick impression, and you're leaving less room for error, I guess, or to be weird, as you guys said it.
Keep
Just
it simple,
wanting
stupid.
more.
Yeah. You can never go wrong being short and sweet, but you can always go wrong being long-winded and complicated.
And, also if you have any like other talents, like I'm a graphic designer, I make websites, I make sick flyers, like offer people something before you need something from them. Like
I don't know why in my head I was like other talents, like
Juggling.
juggling.
I pictured myself walking up to the merch table and be like, hey, watch this, and just start whipping out my
Okay,
juggling.
but even
they'll
that-
remember you forever.
How sick would that be?
That
Like-
but I would be really impressed.
And times are so different now, where like there's some almost like this like unwritten rules of like respect what you do, what you don't do, like what you say, what you don't ask for. But depending on your personality, I don't think that matters anymore. And you can, if you're like endearing, like I could see artists that I work with going up to like, like they love Tame Impala or whoever, I don't know, and be like, yo, watch me juggle. And like it would actually work for them. In a way, like you're just like cashing in on favors later, not because like, ooh, I can't wait to ask them for something, but just like do something. Maybe you might get paid for making flyers, and then now you have all these relationships with these bands, and then when your music gets serious, maybe that band will be like, oh shit, that's actually really cool. As
managers, is there like a place or a group? I know there's a lot of like networking events here in town in LA. Have you guys gone to any of those things? Are there any pro tips? Any like, I don't know how to word it, but like a place that you guys go to like maybe meet like-minded managers and stuff like that?
I self-admittedly should do more of that. Yeah. I rely a lot on like
not like Soho House, like
right.
No, you mean like mixers or something?
Yeah.
There's a Facebook group called Artist Managers Connect.
I had to leave that because of
yeah,
you are in that.
And
you found me on there.
There's some good stuff on there. A lot of like information. This is for managers, and sometimes like an artist will like infiltrate this manager circle, and it really annoys me for whatever reason. So it's like I think artists should try to go hang out with other artists, and then managers can do whatever. I mean, you can go to school night.
Oh, yeah, that's
as
a good
as a
one.
young artist, because
Bardo. Yeah.
there's always going to be somebody there. And again, just don't be weird, don't linger.
Why? Why is
Yeah.
that funny?
No, just classic Seena with the bar, the shout out. You just
Do
know,
I
you
always
just know,
shout
you
out?
just know, you just know all the hot spots.
This is supposed to be breaking into LAC. Not everybody knows these venues and
Yeah.
shows.
No,
so
I know.
I
So
am
that was more of a
trying
person. I was laughing at
to-
you on a more
Do
personal
I
level there.
always? Do I always do that?
I don't know if you always do that, but I know that you know all the hot
Are you
spots.
saying that I'm cool?
No.
Also, big for an artist, everyone gets signed to BMI or ASCAP or whatever. Start there. Like in my early stages of doing this with a new artist, my first point of entry was always BMI or ASCAP. One, because they have to meet with you. Obviously, it's, for those who don't know, it's a performing rights organization. It's like a subsidy of the government, so they have to take on every artist. But they do have resources, and BMI and ASCAP specifically, like, they're not going to go out of their way to like bring you something. But if you ask very specific questions, like, hey, I want to play a show anywhere in LA, BMI can help. Or if you want to say like, hey, I want to try a writing session, they can actually help. And that's like your first, that should be like every new artist's first resource. It's a very scary way of like feeling out what this industry is all about. And they do mixers, they have an event calendar, you can check stuff out. They do like things in the office where you can come learn shit. Like there's
good
a
advice.
lot there.
And I don't know why. I just want to ask these questions just because this is a LA-based podcast. What's your favorite place to eat in LA?
Oh man.
You can go first on this one.
You didn't see this coming.
It
I did
kinda-
not see this coming.
Kind of depends on the vibe. I mean, you guys are very close to the Mariscos place right here.
Mm-hmm.
That like the outdoor like little stand shack or whatever.
I love that
place is good.
Yeah. And we're in Echo Park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Alex?
I recently started going to this little taco shop downtown called Chica's Tacos. Big fan.
Oh, yeah. I know
Yeah.
that spot too.
Also, this pizza place right around the corner, Domino's. I enjoy a lot.
Domino's.
I've
Yeah.
brought it to the
Love your
office multiple
Domino's
times.
pizza.
I do.
Everybody I don't judge you on it.
I know you
mean,
don't. A lot of
yeah.
people do, but
Little Pine. That place is good, and it's 100% vegan.
It's Moby's restaurant. Moby.
You're saying that's who owns it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I knew. It was owned by someone famous, but I didn't remember who it was. Right?
like the Moby.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't. What other Moby is
Well, I thought
there?
she was saying like Moby's restaurant. Like I don't
I
know.
thought
if
it was another place.
What's your favorite venue in LA just to go to?
It's honestly been the Moroccan Lounge, to be honest. I love the intimacy of it. A lot of the big rooms just feel that way, kind of big, not very, personal. And a lot of acts that tour through LA on the bigger side even play the Moroccan Lounge, which is super cool because you get to see them in an environment you normally don't.
I'm kind of annoying about this because like I don't base my favorite venue on like music or all that. Like
Yeah, it could be whatever.
it's like
you feel.
for me, it's how hard is it to get from the back of the venue to the green room. So like nothing wrong with the El Rey, but like once you're in the green room in the El Rey and the show starts, you're stuck because it's like behind the stage.
Oh, I hated that. I couldn't believe that was a real thing.
I know, it's really annoying. The Roxy is like a comfortable sort of situation. The Regent is really good because then they also like make walkways so you can get through. Because I'm like, I don't remember the last time I went to a show just to like, ooh, let me go check out this artist. It's mainly like, it's usually like working or like I'll go to like Michi's show. Like that's maybe the one show this year that I'll be like, sick, I need to check out this artist.
What's the best bar in LA?
For like a chill time.
Yeah, either one. Turn up, chill, whatever you want.
I've been going to Everson Royce a lot lately
Oh,
in the
I've
Arts
never
District.
been there.
I like the Dime off of Fairfax because it gets super ratch.
I've never been there.
Super
I
ratch.
got
Super
kicked out of the
ratch.
Woods once.
You did?
Yeah.
I love that bar. Wait, why
This
did
is
you
really
get...
embarrassing, actually. I'm the guy that like turned on Miley Cyrus on a jukebox.
Classic Radio Disney guy.
Yeah, but like We Don't Stop, like I think it's a great like bar song, and
And
like
you got kicked out for
no,
playing that?
no, I played it, and I obviously had been drinking a bit, and some dude walks by and like basically talks shit on it, and I obviously said something to him, and he was like this like tiny scrawny guy. Not that I'm like a fighter or anything, because I'm sure he could beat me up also, but like. He ended up being the bouncer, and obviously I was like not letting it go because I thought it was really rude, and then I had to leave.
And then just to wrap up, what projects do you guys have of your artists that you manage that are coming out? So you could do a little pluggy plug.
Michi's got a single coming out on February 18th, which is 1 week from today,
Nice.
called Night Moves.
Or
February.
the week of when this podcast comes
Oh, yeah,
out.
So yeah, it came out this week on the 18th.
Comes out.
Comes
it already
out on the
came
18th.
out. TBD.
We have Loyo Lobos who's working on stuff. Junior Mesa.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
It's a
for
wrap
having
on
us.
This was
episode
fun.
6 of the Indie Popcast with Seena, Alex, and Gonzo.
Thank you, Seena.
Bye. Oh my God, that's every day when we ended the show on Radio Disney. It'd be like, bye.
I should have had a sign-off phrase.
I'm scared my memory fading. I'm up at 3 a.m. on WebMD and I swear I'm dying. Think I've read